All right, hey everybody, this is Cinco with the Bitcoin Mining Show coming to you with another cool episode as we have been going through this series of cool people who do like living proof of work with Bitcoin mining especially. Came across a really cool project. We had put out a call that just said, hey, who are the people out there that you guys see online that are doing cool things with Bitcoin mining? And one of the projects that popped up was this Liberty City project that's going on in Canada. And
Mhm.
one of the Tadros brothers reached out to us and said, hey, we'll come on. And I was like, I looked it up and I was like, this is a neat project. We got to have these guys on
Mhm.
here. So today
Cool.
I have Mr. Daniel Tadros with me, and we're going to talk a little bit about what some cool things are he does in Bitcoin, especially Bitcoin mining with their project, and some of the neat things that they're looking forward to with Liberty City. So, Mr.
It's
Tadros,
amazing.
thank you for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having me. I'm willing to talk to anybody that wants to talk about the project. And I'm a bit more active on X lately, so I accumulated just a few podcasts in the last 2 weeks. Kind of cool. I'm like, wow, X is not that hard. It's working out. You know?
That's awesome, and it's a
Yeah,
great way to get the word out. You've got on
it
X, you've
is.
got these little niche groups that there may not be huge, but they're
Yes,
dedicated. So
they
it's a good
are.
way to get it out.
Yeah, the Bitcoin community is pretty strong.
Heck yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
heck
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So if you don't mind, before we get into the whole Liberty City thing and all that, can you tell my folks out here that maybe don't know who you are a little bit about who and your brother are, your background, and how you got into Bitcoin in general?
Cool. Yeah, cool. Okay, excellent, man. Me and my twin brother and I, we've been doing everything together for the last like 50 years, and we had a full career in show business. Like before this, we wrote songs and performed and had a music studio and had 10 albums, wrote 500 songs. So we were like really creative. Yeah, it's like that's show business, man. It was a lot of fun. I made a good living with show business here in Canada, more specifically in Quebec. Quebec is like one of the provinces, and it's more French. But so we did albums in French and all that. But we knew at one point that we would want to take our creativity and do like technology. So we had some interest in Bitcoin a little bit, and our first idea was while we were doing music and stuff, we like we're entrepreneurs, so we're trying some stuff, and we had another small business, advertising business at the same time. We retired from show business, like maybe from it's been 5 6 years, maybe 10 years. I like kind of retired. I had done enough of that, but anyways, some 8 years ago we came up with this idea. We said we should be like citizens of the world, like digital citizens. And we knew like Bitcoin would be like kind of part of that. And it's at a time where like people were doing like white papers and all that. So, anyways, we got in touch with Tim Draper. Tim Draper is a very well-known venture capitalist, legendary venture capitalist, invested in Coinbase, Skype, Hotmail, Robinhood, just DocuSign, just name them. Got in touch with him. He was on YouTube saying, "Hey, if you want to change government, just write to me." And he gave his email. So I wrote to him. My brother left a message, and he responded. And so, and he responded, and like we asked him for a meeting as well. It took a while, and then he gave us like a meeting on Skype. So I did the meeting alone, not with my brother. And he said, study crypto, study Bitcoin. That's going to change the world. And then he says, you guys, like I think he dug our style, whatever. He liked what we were up to. We're artists, right? And then he said, well, you study that, and then let's talk in 5 years because we're going to find out which company is going to win, and then maybe we could work together and do something in like marketing because you guys are good in marketing or whatever with ideas and whatever. So I said fine, but I kept in touch. Like every once in a while I would send him an email and he would answer back. And until at one point we said, well, we were ready to do like a full switch into technology. We had like kind of been Bitcoiners for a bit now, and we told him, and we got this idea of the Bitcoin home. So the way this idea came about is that we were mining at the time. It was Ethereum when we were when they allowed you to mine. Now they changed the rules, obviously. So, Bitcoin doesn't change the rules, right? So they don't just push you out of the system. It doesn't change the rules. Bitcoin's the right one. Anyway, so we were doing Ethereum, and then I think my brother's neighbor was like, "Hey, there must be a way to like package the heat or commercialize the heat or reuse the heat or something like that." And we're like, "Yes, that's a great idea. Let's make a business out of the heat of Bitcoin." That was our idea. Is let's use the heat as the main kind of like force, as the main driver for this for a business. So here it's cold like 7 months a year. We have these like cold winters. It's still cold. It's 0 degrees today, 3 degrees. It's cold. Where are you from?
I'm in Texas, man. It's like 82 here today, Fahrenheit.
Yeah. Okay. So here, like like the weather is like it's pretty hard. We'll have some nice weather really soon. Anyway, so we set out to make a business around the heat of Bitcoin, and we we looked at Bitcoin and we said, what are the attributes? What are the pluses? What's the value add? And one value add was revenues because of mining, and the other one was heat. And we were like, okay, so what do we like? And then we started flipping ideas like we usually do when we invent like songs or whatever. We're like, just flip things around, and we said, okay, well, the best solution is a revenue home where the heat is free, because and so you're saving here. We're saving like $400 a month or whatever, all depending on the type of house you have, $200 a month, and plus. In a house, like when you're reusing the heat, you could use it like to heat the pool in summer. You could use it. You could heat a sauna. If you do it in the house, you could have like all year long kind of thing. And you could also make revenues instead of having tenants. So that's how we started. We pitched Draper, and he laughed it off. And then he said, yeah, whatever. He said, no. We're really serious. We want to do a Bitcoin house. So that process took like 8 months. And then we were like, we're going to get like 10 million to do this. And then we were like, we want 10 million. And then so like Draper says, guys, after pitching, I don't know how many like pitch decks, this wasn't easy. You got to like be good. You got to know your shit. Oh, sorry about that. Can you see me now? Oh, sorry,
Yep,
my phone
you're
rang. Okay, we're good. Yeah, okay. So that wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy kind of pitch. So after 8 months, we pitched to the group as well, his group, Draper Associates, and then he said, "Guys, I'm not going to do it." We're like, no, we're gonna do it anyway. So lend us 3 million, but I think he was like kind of like playing us in the sense that he didn't want to like do this big amount. He just wanted to like do this test and try it out and see what would come out of it. So he said, "Okay, this is the deal." He said, "I'll give you guys $1 million." And that was the most money that we have ever gotten our in venture capital money, whatever, in our whole life of doing ideas. So we were like, yeah, whatever, yes, deal. So it wasn't that much in the sense that we're building homes. We bought a land, and we had to do all this like kind of testing and trying and figuring things out, and so he started kind of slow, and we want to do these prefab houses anyways. But we ended up doing 1.5. We got 1.5 million US. We built the home. We did all these tests for a good year and a half, and we're still doing it. I'll give you the rest, but maybe have a question or two there.
No, that's great.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And it's that's one of those things. So before this started, though, like you guys weren't real estate investors, right? You kind of had to learn this as you go, right?
Yeah, correct. We I had with my ex-girlfriend, the mother of my children, I had built a home, so I knew a little bit. She built it really because she was like a architect or whatever, so I wasn't super involved. So didn't I really have like hands-on experience as a builder. So that was challenging because our model that we were like, let's provide value to the homeowners. They buy it, they get mining, they get free heat, and like it's such a positive, So the model was still is building a home and selling the home with the rigs included, like a dishwasher, air conditioning. That's the model. So it was challenging because we were building houses and we had to find profit in there. We had to make money out of it, So so yeah. Yeah.
No, it makes sense.
So yeah, so we did the first one, and then we tinkered with all these ways that we could do reuses. So we didn't create like standalone products where we could sell the products, but we tinkered within the home. Like we did a fireplace, so we put a miner behind like a fake wall for the fireplace with a switch, and then we had the water cooling. We heated the floors and the pool and the cement outside, and then we had we tinkered with a terrace heater where we put a miner in a propane kind of terrace heater, and then we had a dish dryer instead of the dishwasher. We put a miner, and we had a rack, and we did all these. We had like centralized heating from the main control room, mechanical room, where it would heat the whole house with the air and the water, and then we had all these different spots where we would reuse the heat with like small a space heater that we created. It was kind of cool.
That's
That
right.
was the
That's
first home.
innovative, man. That's looking,
Yeah.
and it's funny the way you talked about it. How Draper, and I don't ever want to say that guy missed the boat, because I miss the boat every day. Draper doesn't really miss the boat on things, but
Mhm.
the fact that like seeing down here in the U.S. right now how big heat punking, which is what this is called down, that we call it in the Bitcoin
Yes.
space, is becoming a huge thing
Is
right
it?
now. There's companies doing the hot tubs, there saunas. There's
Mhm.
people doing converting homes and businesses all to
Mhm.
the heat punking across the U.S. and it's becoming a
Yes,
really big deal reusing that waste heat. So to
it
see that
is.
you guys are kind of like, hey, we could even do more than that. We got radiant heating in the floors. We could do,
Yeah.
things with the dishes, this and that. Like that's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool.
There's anywhere that you use heat, even in hot countries, this is good. Like we were gonna do one in El Salvador where we had four reuses. We would have the spa, a dish dryer, clothes dryer, a water tank. You could and should reuse that heat. And the world should, like, every heater in the world should be a Bitcoin miner. Like, why not?
Right.
Yeah, why not? I think that vision could take maybe, I don't know, 20 years, but I think like heating companies will flip. Like we didn't want to become like a heating company. We were like, okay, we're more like marketing guys. We want to like do a lifestyle kind of thing, sell a lifestyle. So the house was like perfect. It was a perfect combination. But like a heating company, I'm sure, and I hope there's going to be thousands of these heating companies and alternative products, standalone products, and like our first trial, our first thing that we did while the house was getting built is we did a space heater, and then we innovated. Like, a quick story on that is that instead of like selling the space heater, which we didn't want to do, we gave them away. We put S9s in them. It was already a year and a half ago. They weren't super profitable, but our plan was we build them for cheap, like dirt cheap, and we give them away, and we don't pay the electricity because we're giving them away, and people use them as heaters, and we collect the hash rate. So we built 300 of them. And we put an ad on the marketplace, and we said the free heaters, new tech company, circular, circular recycle old computers, and we gave them away. It was an amazing test.
Yeah.
It was an amazing test. Yeah. I hope I hope we would have been in Alaska, but we're in Quebec, because Alaska would have been like 10 months during the year and all that, and much colder and all that. But we did it here, and it was an amazing test. So we innovated on the business model, and so we didn't sell them, the space heaters. I have on my X account. You can see one of my latest posts. I featured it, so it was pretty cool. Yeah,
That's neat. That's cool.
yeah,
It's more of the concept thing, which is awesome. It's boots on the ground, trying things out. Which is, I mean, we're still in that stage, right?
yeah.
We're still early with Bitcoin, so that's still
Right.
a thing. You're trying it out. Did you so with that test, did you guys actually see, like, were people interested in it? Like, people were like, yeah, man, this is kind of
Well,
neat. This is cool.
yeah, well, there's always two ways to do Bitcoin businesses. You could take the value add and make Bitcoin disappear and just say, here's a free heater. It's like, this is like like we had hardly spoke about Bitcoin. People didn't they don't like, the normies just don't get it. So they just had a free heater and they were happy. It was relatively quiet. We worked that out. It was still a little bit loud for for some people, that we lower the sound of it a lot. And so that's one way is you make Bitcoin disappear, or the other way is you just keep Bitcoin as and you feature it. And so if you make Bitcoin disappear, I mean, you can bring a lot of value to people. You could give pool heaters to people and say, hey, buy buy the pool heater and pay a fraction of the cost to heat your pool. I mean, you absorb like through the Bitcoin mining. There's a lot of ways of doing this. So, but when you're doing the Bitcoin thing, like we're doing, like the Bitcoin house, it's a bit more challenging because like our buyers are not Bitcoiners. So you kind of have to onboard them and explain to them that this is important and your dollar cost averaging in by heating your house for free. So it's there's a few ways to shuffle these things around.
And
Yeah.
you have one model that was built, and there was a family that moved in. Is that correct?
Yes.
How'd that
Yes.
work out? Was
Exactly.
that pretty good?
It 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 worked well the first 6 7 months, and then right in the middle of Christmas, the glycol in the tubes like blew, and so we had at -30, and so that went out didn't work out so well. So
It's pretty
that's
cold.
normal. Yeah, it was cold. And we had planned to have like redundant heating, like small heaters all over the house, and like we knew we had to have redundant heating because even if the internet goes down, there's no more heat. But we hadn't placed some in the basement where there was the actual glycol set up. Anyway, so that was a bit of irritation for the owners, and they kind of didn't know. Like one of the main challenges we realized is that they don't know that you need to buy Bitcoin and hold it. So all depending on the cycles, they're making different amounts, right? There's Bitcoin is the price changes, they make different amounts. So that it's a bit of a challenge in terms of telling them, hey, I know you're spending on the electricity, but you're getting the heat for free, right? So you're actually saving 200-300 bucks. Like you guys were like six in the home, like so it would have costed you a bit of heat. So you've saved 300 bucks, even though your bill costed you 700 bucks. It's really like 400 bucks, but you have some Bitcoin, So that was it's a little bit of a tough sale for normal people. So, but what we did is that we offered the miners included, no extra cost. Um, the cost to hook up the house and adapt the house to receive the miners and do the mechanical room was really not extra cost. It's just organizing it. So it's not like as if the house costed us 50,000 bucks more to integrate all that. It was just part of the construction. So we did a large mechanical room, and there are some extra costs. We put like a huge like a vent to make sure the room doesn't warm up too much, like on each side, very powerful on each side of the mechanical room to remove the heat as well, the extra heat. And so but what I compare this to is like I'm in a Tesla right now, and I use the self-driving. I love the self-driving, but it doesn't allow me like the text. I want to work like when I'm in the car. So I don't use the self-driving anymore until it gets better, until they stop giving me strikes when I'm texting, right? So and I compare our Bitcoin homes to the same thing, is that we're building them for that. They stopped using it after a bit because they found it was too expensive, which is okay. We're not gonna. They're not. We don't want to force them twist their arm, And but they use it, and so we onboard the people that way. It's important for us to sell homes because we put like 600,000-700,000 in a home, and then if it doesn't sell, then it's very cash flow intensive, very capital intensive. So we still got to flip the homes while we make our product better, while we get the idea known. If they don't exploit the system that's there because they don't understand it, too bad for them. That's okay. But I would prefer having only Bitcoiners, but that's
Still
the
early.
way
Yeah, that's hard.
yeah, that's a way we're working the business. Like while we improve the system, we try new ways. I want to warm up like the driveway because we can melt the snow and the stairs and maybe the roof. We're gonna try things, and as we keep on going, and I like we have 4 houses on the same lot. We have 4 lands on the same lot. It's in the forest, so I would have liked to have like a hardcore Bitcoin community. but you got to do what you got to do. I got to sell the homes and flip them, and then
Sure.
we build another one. And we try other stuff, and we keep on promoting it and all that. So that's the way, which is kind of smart because like we do have a business. We have a business where it's making profits, and it's not like as if we're waiting for like this Bitcoiner to buy it. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be that.
That's cool. Yeah.
So
And you guys are early in
yeah,
this. I mean, it's still like you said. I mean, getting people to understand. It doesn't matter where you live, what part of the world. Getting people to understand that you're building a house, a livable home that has these
yes,
innovative features. And if they
mhm,
don't really get it yet, then yeah, that's a hard
okay,
sell, right? That's no different than people
it
with
is
like smart appliances. You get some people that look at that and they say like
correct.
I don't want that in my home. I want, dumb appliances. Okay, cool, but one day that's going to be all you can get. And I think
Mhm.
you guys are ahead of the curve a bit
Yeah,
on what's going into
sure.
homes for smart homes with the
Yeah,
Bitcoin stuff. I think eventually this is going to be the standard.
I think so.
Might not be the next 5 years, but it's coming.
Yeah, and we're forwarding the narrative too. We're really pushing the narrative out because I mean it's just a smart way of living. Like the bit, everything you have that uses heat is Bitcoin. We created a monitor app. It's called the Bitcoin House app, and it calculates your savings as well. Like if you saved this much. So and like for different uses, and the savings are if you're warming up your spa, then the savings are different than if you're using to warm up the rooms or whatever. So it's cool. It's cool. And don't forget, like we started like 3 years ago. Like with the idea of the home. So I think we're still going to be early for a bit. I've heard it twice today that it's really picking up this idea of heat punks, and I haven't seen a difference on my side, but two people told me, yeah, it's really like picking up there. Yeah,
Okay.
where do you see that it's picking up?
So, the cold states here in the U.S. So, like I've seen, look,
Mm.
Colorado has a big group of them. The people up in the
Yeah,
Rockies, that's a big thing. The
yeah.
folks over at Altair Tech, that they're the sponsor for my show.
Hmm.
They're out of the central U.S.
Hmm.
and like one of our
Yes.
guys, Chris, is from up in the Mitten, up in Michigan. It's kind of a big thing there too. Heating your home, getting
Mm.
like those new Avalon Q units and stuff that like anybody can put in their house and use it as a heater because that's kind of what it's designed to do: heat and produce Bitcoin. So
Yeah.
it's becoming more of a thing. Down here where I'm at, we use like
Nah.
I put like a
Not so.
small, like a Nano 3 or
Whatever.
something, like a 6
Yeah.
terahash that I'll stick in my wife's office. We use it 10 days a year in Houston.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Exactly. Exactly.
anything north of the
Yeah.
Mason Dixon line here in the U.S., you're going
Yeah.
to use it for
Yeah.
you can use it for a couple months a year, and it's becoming more and more popular. The more people talk about Bitcoin, the more people talk about how they use the heat waste, the
Mm.
more people are saying, well, okay, cool, that's a good way to offset the cost. I got to spend the electricity
Yeah.
anyway. I might as
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
make something with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. You're exactly. If you're saving, like I calculate approximately like it's like a plus like 15% of like if like say you spend $500 mining this month. Well, like 15% of that you needed the heat anyways. Like you just save 15%. So approximately that. Because like it actually creates too much heat. There's too much heat. Like one miner is like sufficient for almost a home. It's 3,000 watts. Like if you have three or four, then you have like way too much heat. Like
All
so.
right, guys, quick shout out to the sponsor of today's episode, Altair Tech. If you've been thinking about getting into Bitcoin mining or scaling up your current operation, Altair Tech is who we use at Cinco Dogos Mining for our hardware. They're veteran Bitcoin miners, so they actually understand the equipment they sell. They ship fast from the central US, keep a large inventory of in-stock ASIC parts, miners, PDUs, and accessories ready to go. Whether you're starting small with something like an Avalon Nano 3S or scaling into the 200 plus professional mining rig range, Altair Tech has the gear to help you grow. And if you're new to mining, they offer free consultations to help you choose the right hardware and strategy. So head on over to altairtech.io and use discount code CINCO at checkout. That's altairtech.io, code CINCO. Altair Tech. Mine your independence and start stacking sats the sovereign way.
Like so. But it's crazy because like a lot of people were already using like the heat for the greenhouse, and like on our side, like we like we had to think, how do we make a business out of this? Like how do we market it? How do we bring this to the world where we can make a business that works and also works with us? Like how do we do it? We thought about these pool pumps, selling the pool pumps. How do we sell it? We go to pool stores and like we thought went through all of that process in our minds. Like, okay, we can sell it for greenhouses, and we did have a greenhouse on the first house. We had this dome, and we were warming it up, and then and then we had to go with our skill set as well because that's how we really like stopped at to the Bitcoin house and said, well, let's build homes and sell them, and we're going to tweak a little bit like our model going forward, where maybe instead of buying and creating like a home from scratch and constructing it and selling it, maybe we're just going to create a home or retrofit a home and then maybe put it on Airbnb and then do that around the world, where we can keep the Bitcoin, keep the home, keep the asset. Because right now, like we are making some margins because we're making money with selling homes, but it's still a challenge, like to scale it. How do we make 10,000 homes? you know. So that's a challenge, but we're figuring things out, and it's we've been having a lot of fun.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And again, just the call. I've said it a couple times now, but we're early in this, so the
Mm.
fact that you guys are still sticking with it, you didn't try it and say, okay, you know what, we're too early in this. People just don't,
No,
not enough people get it. Let's move on to the next project. You guys are
no,
sticking with it
no.
and trying to adapt it, like saying, okay, how can we still go with this model and
Yeah,
still do something with it?
we've done three so far, so there's two more that are built. And we got like we got 1.5 million from Draper. We did the space heater. We tested it, and we sold the first house, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna get like 10 million for a startup from Draper. And that didn't happen yet. And then uh, we said, well, we want to keep on going. So we took the money that came from the sale, and we built two on the two other lines that we have. We built two foundations and the structure, and then we were like missing like I don't know like $800,000 or something, 700,000, 800,000, and then we financed those privately and personally to build those two homes. So now they're both built, and we got an offer on the one last week. So let's hope that goes through. Let's cross our fingers because we've been grinding this year, like grinding like entrepreneurs to make it to keep this company alive. And but it's working out well, and we're gonna get through it, and we're gonna sell both. And I think that look, you're telling me that it's picking up. People are talking about it, and I'm pretty sure there's like a bright future for this, to keep on going for a while.
I
Yeah, we're gonna
agree.
keep on going for a while. We will, we
I'm
will.
glad to hear that.
Yeah, we will for
No,
sure.
I think if you stick with, I think the hardest part, and that's with any entrepreneur, any type of venture that you do, right? When you put your skin in the game, and I've been there. I ran my own business for 10 years, so I get that. Like you
Mhm.
put your own skin in the game, you got to have that conviction to say this has got to make it, and I believe it will, or else
Yeah,
I'm losing
yeah,
my shirt. So the
yeah,
fact that you
yeah,
guys are doing that is impressive. That means that you
yeah,
do believe in the project. Um,
yeah,
so like the Liberty City where you're doing this.
yeah,
Um, how has interest been lately, like let's say like the past 6 months? I know you're kind of pivoting a
yeah,
little bit,
yeah,
but are
yeah,
you seeing a pickup in like your social media? Are you seeing a pickup in
yeah.
interest?
Yeah, the social media quite a bit because I'm on X quite a bit, and I see that people are like they're curious, and I'm talking about our struggles too, and that's working out really well. Here in Quebec, it's a French province. They gave us the cover of the newspaper here because we were used to being in the media and all that. And during COVID, we were like super outspoken, and so we're kind of like framed in this like Tate kind of like Andrew Tate kind of corner kind of thing. Anyway, so when we did the Bitcoin home, like people spoke about it quite a bit. They put us on the cover page, and now I'm waiting till we sell one of the homes so we can go back on the because we're really doing two strategies. Okay, like we're doing two strategies. We're pushing this idea. We're getting better at it. We're reiterating, and we're also selling homes. So not to give ourselves too many barriers, because we're kind of playing it smart, because there's a lot of barriers, a lot of things that could have killed us and still could kill us. The utility, the city, there's so many
Oh yeah,
like
so many moving
barriers.
permits. There's so many moving
There are
parts.
permits and clients that don't understand it as well. So we're always playing on both kind of like things. And although we're saying it out loud here, sometimes we just keep it like just a bit more silent. But when it's gonna move again, and when Bitcoin's gonna go back up, I mean, people are gonna like. I think maybe in the next couple of months, hopefully, Bitcoin goes back up, and we could like go again on the bandwagon locally and say, hey, I know you guys don't understand anything about Bitcoin here, but we've got some Bitcoin homes. you
Yeah,
know, you know.
yeah, a Bitcoin ready
So
home. Yeah, that's great.
yeah, exactly. And then people are gonna like pay attention again here. But now I would say in the last few months we've been keeping it quiet, just
Got
making
to know
sure
your
that
audience.
we don't get in trouble.
Hmm.
We don't get in trouble because we weren't constructors before. So the one of the troubles was if you're constructing like houses as a company, then you need to get like it's called a house guarantee of a new house here in Quebec. It's different in every like country probably or province or whatever. And then so you need to get this insurance that like it costs $40,000 because you're building as a corporation. And there's all these like barriers that they're putting in front of you, which we didn't have. So that was a struggle. So we kind of kept quiet. We had to put the houses on our names. We had to move around like to make sure that we like everything works out.
Hey, you got to do
It's
what you got to
hard.
do, right?
It was hard. It was hard. So we put the two houses that we did on our own personal names. Yeah, that's what we did. That's what we did.
Hey, whatever
Like that,
works,
so we
man.
don't get so we don't get fined.
Yep. Hey,
Because
but
we're
again,
still
you're
a
putting your
startup.
skin in the game doing it. Like that's the
Yeah,
point is you believe in it. You're like, we're not just going to say, this ain't going to work. It's too hard.
yeah,
You're like, we're going to do this. We're going
yeah,
to figure out a way.
yeah. Because we're still a startup and we want to be legit. But like some of the things that we need to do, they cost a lot of money. To be a legit construction company, our corporation. Well, we need to invest $40,000, which was a bit more difficult this year. But if we keep on like building more houses and like serially, we're gonna get that going. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's important to break the rules, but but just know just we don't break the rules blindly.
Right. Right.
Never,
That's
ever.
that's that whole bit. Most Bitcoiners are like that. I think we got that. Like
Yeah,
you name your place Liberty City. Everything. I think Bitcoiners are very libertarian minded. Very
yeah,
like don't like that rule.
yeah, 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 yeah. Break the rules, but like we're not gonna. We try not to do anything that's gonna kill us. That's
Yeah.
going to kill the company, that's for sure. One of the challenges, and I think because you're a miner yourself, right? Where you're in the mindset of the miners is one of the troubles that we had, that we knew right from the get go, was that you guys have the SEC, we have the IMF. It's called l'Autorité des marchés financiers, financial markets, whatever they in French. And if you if people mine and you control their money, then you're illegal because you're controlling their money and you don't have a license to control
Yeah.
people's money
Yeah. They
because you're not
consider you like a bank or a financial advisor,
yeah,
right?
you're not a bank and you're not an advisor like
Yeah.
a financial advisor. So you get in trouble. You get in trouble. So we knew right from the top that we would put the miners in, we would offer it to the people, and then we would tell them, listen. So they're basically our miners. We're mining, and we're giving you X profits to rent the place. So that's we have to really legally really make sure that we're not getting in trouble. And even when we were doing the small space heaters, same legal stuff. And so we didn't get in trouble yet because if they like the SEC or and if they like go after you and you're small like we are, it's your death sentence for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's your death sentence for sure.
It's so
If you're not
funny.
back like financially a lot, you just die.
It's so weird how like they don't want to the different government. I'm not going to try to get off on a rabbit hole on this, but the different governments don't want to acknowledge that Bitcoin is a currency. But at the same time,
Hmm.
if you start doing something with it, they all of a sudden they want to regulate it and they want a taste of it.
Right,
It's such a
right.
hypocritical
Plus,
thing.
mining falls into like a whole different thing. Is it profit, or it's not considered as profit? Like there's no taxes. It's not a capital gains. It becomes like a revenue. It's like the proof of work. It's a work. It's a revenue from it's not a capital gain. I think it's considered as a gain. Like
Bring an
a revenue
asset.
for the company.
Hmm.
Yeah, like a revenue for the company.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it goes in that slot. So it's complicated, man. When you do new stuff. So, but we played it. We played it cool so far, and it's turning out pretty good. I mean, if we survive like by the end of this year, and we can sell those two houses, we're good. We're
That's
good.
great.
We survived. We survived, and we're probably going to keep on building some more. Our plan to keep on going. I think our next leg is we're going to keep on building the app even better for so that the customers have an amazing experience. And then we're going to probably buy a big land. And then what we're going to tell people is going to say, listen, this is Liberty City. Probably we're going to stay in the same area where we're at. We're going to say, if you buy land here, um, that way it's less capital intensive for us, where we don't need like to construct and put all that money in. It's quite a thing constructing a home, and there's a lot of a lot of effort. And then we say, if you come here, we'll give you the plans to build a Bitcoin home. We'll certify it for you. If you do at least 2 heat reuses, and then maybe give you the plans for free. We'll give you the app. If you buy the land here, kind of like work it out that way, maybe. And then maybe you need to build if you're going to buy this land, and you need kind of to build a Bitcoin home here. And we'll show you how. Maybe that. I think that's what we're going
Given
towards.
some options.
Probably what we're
Hmm.
doing. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and maybe we build another one where we use it as a model, so people can visit all the uses again, and then we probably build one or two more. We retrofit a home maybe in El Salvador, and yeah, something
Should
like
go
that.
good
Put
down
it
there. I
on.
mean, El Salvador is like the Bitcoin home right now on Earth.
Yeah,
So I think
it
people would
is.
be up for that. That's cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is. It
mhm.
is.
So, what kind of miners do you guys tend to use? You got like a standard one you use? Like I know you said the S9s for your space heaters that you were
Yeah,
trying
the
out. You got like
S9s was really
21s
because
or
yeah, well, the S9s was really just we bought them like they were basically giving them away. I think we bought them for $15 each. It was to do the cheap space heaters where we wouldn't pay for the pay for the electricity. So until last year we were using the S19. Now we're using S21s. We have like three basically set up in the home that we're selling right now. So if they want them, the new buyers, we're going to keep them there and onboard them, and that's the way we do it. Yeah,
that's cool. Do you
it's
guys?
tough with a Bitcoin price. It's really tough these days.
Yeah, it's I know
It
it's creep.
is.
I know it's creeping up. I'm looking. Well, it's kind of doing this number today. It's kind of doing
Yeah.
that little dance it's been doing. But I'm excited for it to go up too because obviously when number go up, then more people are interested. So
Yeah.
that's always good.
Yeah.
Did you guys have to do any like retrofitting to like? I know like my S19s. If
Yes.
I ran them in my house, that's basically like living next to an airport. But did you guys have to do any type of
Yes. Yes.
retrofitting or anything for them?
Yes. 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 We did a lot of tests because we had water cooled ones, which we actually retrofitted them ourselves. We put cooling plates on them that we ordered from China, and then we had the glycol going through them, and like basically all the fans or origin fans, we removed them all because they're just too loud. They're way too loud, and we tried a whole set of fans that we tried. Basically, what we took out of all this is that the bigger the fan, the less the noise. So what we do with the setup right now is we get like these 10-inch fans that we set up, and they're loud, but they're not loud like the small ones that are on there. They're ridiculously loud. The small ones
Yeah,
on all the machines, like
yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
really ridiculous.
that's probably the place Bitcoin miners, air cooled miners, can make the most advances
Yeah, yeah,
technologically, is in
yes,
cutting
yes.
down those decibels.
But we also created the mechanical room separate from the house in the basement, like a 12-inch concrete wall to really separate it, and with a exterior door where we could go service the machines without bothering the owners. So we really like thought about that. So even if we would keep the fans on them in the house, in the homes, in the mechanical room, we're good. But when we did the S9 test for the space heaters, we we downgraded the we bought this device on like Alibaba or whatever, where we actually downgraded the strength of the fans. So we really played like we tampered all sorts of ways. We tried different fans, and we had to keep the cost low of these things because we were giving them away. So we had to keep the cost low. So anyways, we tried all possible fans, and we had the volume noise level at, I think we had it like at 50 decibels for the small space heater, which is a bit loud still, 40, 50 decibels. And if we would lower it even more with those, the things would heat up.
Yeah, yeah. Then you
Yeah,
start
they would heat.
sacrificing too much efficiency. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So, but there is a lot of ways. There is a lot of ways to. We would one of the like there was three hash boards on the on the 20 on the 19s, and if you reduce one hash board completely, you could get more efficiency. Anyways, we were playing around with all that, and but we wouldn't get the maximum hash rate on the space heaters. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So there's a lot. It's cool. There's a lot of innovation to be done. Like obviously, if it's too loud, nobody wants that. They
yeah.
don't care about the heat. If it's too loud, nobody cares.
Yeah. Did with your initial homeowners, your first folks,
Yep.
the first pancake, did they have any feedback for you guys on that? Like, did they say like, hey, the noise wasn't too bad, or
No, no, the noise zero. That's zero. It was zero problem. Zero there. It was mostly that it was like, since it was the first. It was our first model. We had a bit of irritation with the Christmas event,
yeah,
you know, and the biggest thing is that they didn't go in. They tried it and they were like happy to try it. They were kind of irritated by the cost of the electricity bills, and then but they didn't really understand the value of stacking Bitcoin. You know, like I think once we get everybody on board, normies understanding that you got to stack Bitcoin, and if you're heating at the same time and you pretty much paid at market price, then you're kind of winning. It's a device for dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. Really,
yep,
that's what it is.
yep,
So all depending of the Bitcoin price, I mean, sometimes it's more profitable, sometimes it isn't. That's a problem because it's not like the way we framed it is we said, hey, forget the penance, you make some Bitcoin, but the revenues are volatile. So it's a bit of a hard sell in that sense, but it doesn't matter. We're like, if you get somebody that knows the value of Bitcoin, he's going to be happy
oh,
to
forget it,
heat
yeah,
his house. Like, forget it. Even if he pays a little bit higher than market price, he's still heating his home. And like, when I mine, like, okay, well, sometimes you want to shut off your machine because you see I'm paying higher than market price, but still, if you're getting the value out of the heat, then you're winning.
right. Low time preference, yeah. Somebody who can look down
Yeah,
the road and say, in the long run, this is worth
yeah,
it. Yeah, and that's hard. I think that's going to
yeah.
be a struggle. I mean, I think for decades to come, because getting anyone
It
to
is.
understand, any of us, I mean, when we all start out in life and we're younger, money is money. We want to spend it, we want to use it, we've got the money, it's burning a hole in our pocket. Getting people to
Yes,
understand, like, you need to look further down the road. It takes
yes.
people a
That's
while.
it does. They got to go through like one or two cycles and say, "Oh, I got to just hold and hold it." And but we have some good programs here. We have like our energy provider is called Hydro Quebec, and our electricity is cheap. And they also have all this. If you're using two heat sources, which we're probably going to do in our other homes, excluding the Bitcoin miners, they actually like even make your electricity cheaper because at if you lower your consumption at peak periods, this is worth gold for the utilities. So like here, like when it's like -30, everybody's pumping their heat, like right, and so they want to reduce the demand on the utility. So they have all these programs where they give you the electricity for cheap if you have two modes of heat, and then when it's peak period, you can just shut off your miners. And there's all these things that we could still do, that we still want to innovate on, that can make it even more appealing to the customers. Yeah. So, but this is like, what we're doing is not easy, because like not many people understand Bitcoin. So there's many years ahead for mass adoption of this kind of product.
Yeah. No, you're right.
There's
And
a lot of years ahead of us, I think.
I think so too.
I think I
I think it's going to happen though. I'm not trying to be like just one of those people that's pie in the sky. I really think it's going to happen. Seeing what's happening around the world, around the
Mhm,
U.S. with
mhm.
heat reuse, I think it's the next thing in Bitcoin that's going to become a really big deal. That's the step for getting a
I think
miner in
so.
every home.
I
So
think so too. And every home should ship with a miner like an AC. I, you know, and the main challenge with this is it's hard to scale that. Like okay, there's AC companies and there's heating companies and there's like it's a construction base, and it's hard to scale. But I think that our work is helping to spread the message. Like my wish is to create this good company. We're not going to scale like a Coinbase or whatever that is. It's like that way with this, with construction. But if we can get them, push the message out as well, as we're building a nice strong company, it's profitable, and it's profitable for investors or whatever, our mission accomplished, really.
yeah, man,
Yeah,
it's that line that you guys bounce back and forth. It's proof of work, but there's proof of
yeah.
concept too. I think the Liberty City is the proof of concept. Where do you see Liberty City in like the next 5 years?
In 5 years, I think we're going to keep on building, keep on doing the same thing, because it's working out. There's money in the end of each construction, there's money at the end of each sale, and I think we're going to diversify into just a little bit more scalable products. One of the products that I think we've been bouncing off on is, I think we're going to get into probably helping to like certify people that want to do it in their home, like a sticker, like a kind of a like a AAA, like here it's CAA, where we say, hey, you're certified Bitcoin heat reuse, give rebates on insurance and stuff like that, where it's a bit more scalable, and uh, we don't need to deploy like 800,000 every time we do one product, so something like that. But definitely keep on going with this. Work on the app, make the app is a nice scalable product, and yeah, just keep on doing that. Just same thing. Keep it nice and profitable, and keep on talking about this.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
until
awesome.
everybody gets it.
Yeah,
Until
exactly.
everybody gets it.
And
Yeah.
speaking of that, so okay, so after Quebec proves that this is possible, right? After
Yes.
everyone sees that it's possible, they look at that. Liberty City in Quebec becomes the model.
Yes.
Where do you see it expanding to next? Like, where do you think is your most likely next expansion area?
Well, I'd like to do some, even though we won't have uh, all the nine reuses. We almost did one in El Salvador. We had found in San Salvador, in the main city. We had found a small casita. It was like, I think, $50,000. We actually sent the money, but when we were building the other home here, it wasn't finished. We were kind of like, we had too many projects going on, so we just took the money back and finished the home. But I think what I would like is, I would like to do some in every like developing nation that's really Bitcoin friendly. Maybe Argentina. I just like had a call earlier today for that island in Prospera. Somebody that were really like interested in what we were doing. So I would do a few others as a flagship kind of spot in maybe hot countries. Do 4 or 5 reuses of the heat, and um, and and maybe like the next ones would, like, if you really want to like do the Liberty City thing, probably cold countries like Sweden or like all these northern countries out there,
Hmm.
like that are
Scandinavian
really cold.
countries. Yep. Hmm.
Yeah, Scandinavian countries where it's really cold, and you could do like saunas. We had a sauna warmed up, but like if people want ideas, I think people like and have an interest in like doing a sauna place. You open up a sauna spot. I mean, they're using heat like there's no tomorrow, and
Just
you
burning
heat
that
that, and
money.
your
Hmm.
business is profitable. You know, I think we're going to try to maybe hold on to the real estate because flipping real estate, like Bitcoin, you got to like keep the real estate a little bit more so it keeps its value, and then the inflation, keeps the value of the inflation. So we want to hold Bitcoin and hold the buildings. So I think we're going to maybe go more towards like scale down a little bit, like the building. That's hard. It's hard and it's very expensive,
Yeah,
but we're not going to stop. Yeah, we're not going to stop. I think we're going to keep on building one here, one there, whatever,
that's awesome,
because
man.
yeah, because we love that the house idea is like we're not like super technical guys or like or construction guys. Like we do stuff, but like I like the lifestyle thing. We're marketing guys. Like just come and see the house. Come and see the house. So
Right?
we're gonna keep on doing this for a while.
When your house mines
Yeah,
Bitcoin for you, I mean, how cool is that? You don't have to be a super technical person. You could, if
you
your
know,
house is mining Bitcoin for you, that's fantastic.
yeah,
You already have to live there anyway. You might as well have it try
yeah.
to make some money or offset costs for you.
Th-
So,
There you go.
mhm.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty cool, and I think people should do this. Like, I think somebody should start this like the solo miners. I know you have solo miners. I think that's what you have, eh? Like, I think if we get this to the public that this is a lottery, this is the Bitcoin lottery. This could be incredible. And the other thing I think people should focus on, and I'm just throwing ideas out, like here, free ideas, because I can't do them all anyways. But you see, we really pushed strong on getting the mining idea out because you could be a Bitcoiner. I was a Bitcoiner for 5 years before I realized, like, before I got in touch with mining stuff. Like, how does this work? Until I saw a miner. So a lot of the new Bitcoiners have no idea of this whole mining thing. So we pushed a lot on this, and I think we're gonna help the whole ecosystem. But I think the other part is nodes. And I think that people should really start thinking of how do we make having a Bitcoin node, more appealing? Or how do we make it a business? Like how do we like I think people should think about this because the more nodes, the more miners there is, the less fragile a system becomes, right? Instead of having like a whole thing in a warehouse, and like I think like we saw this in Iran where they got hit. Iran was mining a lot, by the way. They don't talk about that a lot, but
Yeah, a
Iran
lot.
it was basically, yeah, and you saw the hash rate go down when they got attacked the first time. They shot something down. You saw the hash rate go down. But if you have a miner in every home, then I mean the system is super like resilient.
Right? A node in
And
every
same thing
home and
for
miners in every home. I mean, that makes
yeah,
everyone sovereign.
exactly. But I think people should really think about how do we make a business out of making people have a node. I don't know what it is. Is maybe verify your wallet, have the node running all the time. I don't know. I don't know. Like I haven't explored this much on my side, but there's maybe something there. There must be something there.
There's going to be.
There must be an
Nodes are
idea.
becoming a lot more. There's the discussion around nodes the whole past year has been
Yeah,
a huge discussion. So I think you're onto something there.
an idea in the making.
Hmm.
Some people got to push on that so that it becomes more widespread. Because last time I checked, there was only I think 15,000 people running nodes worldwide, which is not a lot.
Right. Yeah.
I
No.
think it's the weak point of I think this is the weakest part of the Bitcoin system for
Right.
nodes.
And yeah,
I
I think
think,
as education gets out there, I mean, hopefully
yeah,
that's something changes. A miner in every home, a node in every home, and people mining to
yeah,
their own pools or whatever. That's great. I love it.
yeah. Anyways, I'm throwing the ideas out so it
Get
gets
them
people
thinking.
thinking.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe there's a business to get to do with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
maybe there
and that's
is.
the
Maybe there
thing.
is.
the more ideas that are out there, the more people that are doing things with the Bitcoin, whether it's just Bitcoin itself or mining or whatever, the better the system becomes, the
It
stronger the
is.
ecosystem becomes. So that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you saw the AI video that I made, eh?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good video. Where in there I said that people will create stuff on Bitcoin we never even thought could exist, and I think that's so true. Yeah,
Yeah. I'll make
yeah,
sure I link that in
that's
the show notes too, so people could
yeah,
check it out
sure,
because it was
sure.
neat. It was neat.
Yeah, that was a good video.
It was a good video. So we're
Yeah.
coming up toward the end of the hour here. I don't want to keep you too much longer, but before I let you go, two things. Number one, where can people find you if they want to find you on social media? That's number one.
Yep, it's on my X handle, Daniel Tadros. There's also my brother Tadros, Tadros Brothers. But we can go. You can go on libertycity.io, which is our website. But on X, that's where I post the most stuff.
Fantastic. And
Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much for coming on. But before I let you go, do you got anything else? Any final thoughts you'd like to say to folks out there? Anything that you want to just put out there? You think maybe I forgot to ask?
No, it's all good. That was amazing. You're super super good there. No, just basically, I think people should like take this idea of Bitcoin and take the power and do stuff with it, and just try to invent stuff and bring it out. And the one thing I don't do that much is that I don't ask people to pay in Bitcoin. I'm not, and I think that's so super important. I think we should be doing that. I think every Bitcoiner should be doing that. You take Bitcoin, you take Bitcoin, you take Bitcoin, and I think it's going to move. The idea of Bitcoin is going to move along much faster. Yeah.
Public adoption. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree.
Yeah.
We've got Steak and Shake down here in the US right now,
Yeah.
the burger joint that, you can pay in Bitcoin. And I think that is helping because, anytime somebody sees you with your burger with the Bitcoin symbol stamped on the bun, somebody's going to ask and be like, what's that? Why didn't I get that
What
on
is
my
that?
burger? It opens up a conversation. So
It does. And there's Square. That's had these lightning payments just come on board. Apparently in Vegas, it's really picking up with the merchants. And we're in a bear market, but I really feel that there's a lot of things happening. And this makes me think of when there was the dot-com crash in the 2000s. All the metrics were going up, but the price of all the tech stocks were down. And it feels like we're in the same spot.
right.
Same spot. Everything is moving. Like the mining is moving, everything's moving, but like the price is super low.
Yep.
So
It's
I think that's a
decoupled.
sign.
Yep. No,
I think that's a sign. Yeah.
Sure.
Anyways,
Well,
cool.
All right, so thank you very much again. Don't want to keep you too much longer. We've taken up a lot of your time here today. Really
Perfect.
appreciate you. I'd love to have you back on in the future, 6 months to a
Anytime.
year from now, so that way we can see how the project's going. But I'll make sure we share out your socials on this as well and put that video up there because it was cool when you sent me that video. I read right into my wife and I was like, check this out, and she watched it. She's like, this is neat. So
yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, no, it was good
cool.
stuff.
Yeah.
But all right, cool. Well, thanks for coming
All
on the
right.
show, man. I really appreciate you.
Thanks for your interest. It was
All right.
amazing.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Take care.